Hey, I'm here with actor Osric Chau. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
No problem. So I know you started off being interested in martial arts, and then you kind of segued into acting. What was that journey like for you?
Uh, it was funny. There was no real intention. All I knew that I didn't quite fit in at school. I didn't really have any passion in terms of studying or pursuing any degrees that I came across. Um, but martial arts and auditions, like for acting, were the things that I kind of focused on because I I was interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the direction it kind of led to, and so my main focus was martial arts. And my first big acting role came because of my martial arts, and that kind of opened up those doors. And the more I did it, the more I fell in love with it, and I just kind of went with it.
That's pretty neat. And so you have a big project that just came out,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been on Supernatural.
Yes.
So why don't we talk about your first projects before we delve into those, okay?
Okay.
So I figured I would set you up just to make sure you knew where you were
Sure.
starring now. So you played a monk in named Nima in the film
In 2012.
Yes. What was that like?
I wish I could appreciate that more. That is the biggest film project that I've ever been in, and probably will ever be in. They don't really make films that big anymore,
Yeah.
or ever. That wasn't the large. I think Avatar was bigger, but yeah, that was Vancouver's largest, biggest budgeted film. They had like 14 sound studios that they were renting out at the time and just rotating, and just the sheer size of every set and just how many resources and people they had on it. Like, it was just mind blowing thinking back, and because I was so new, I just kind of, I'm like, oh, this is cool, movie making.
Yeah.
And it's never been the same since. So it was really cool to be a part of, and like looking back, I'm like, wow, I wish I could appreciate what that was.
It's all a learning process.
Yeah.
So you also were in a movie called Fun Size,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yeah. That was the first American project that I was ever a part of. Yeah, first time shooting here. It got me my first work visa, which opened the doors to the U.S. And it was fun. We spent 3 months in Cleveland, Ohio, and I hadn't really heard of anything about it, but I really liked it there.
Uh-huh.
I played a high school character. It's a Halloween movie, so I was in a Halloween costume the whole time. And part of the joke was that no one knew what my costume was. I was dressed up as Aaron Burr, and now with the popularity of
I
Hamilton,
was going
that
to
kind of like,
say.
the movie doesn't hold up anymore.
No. Now, your longest running role
Yeah.
was Kevin on Supernatural.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you from beginning to end? I know your character, unfortunately, is
Yeah.
no longer with us.
Well, one of the nicest things about that project was, everything I'd worked on until that point has been very finite. In
Mhm.
that, you work on this thing for like a month, 3 months, and then it's over. And for Kevin Tran and Supernatural, it didn't end.
Mhm.
Every second month I was going back to Vancouver, hanging out with family, and shooting this project with my new family. And it was such a wonderful experience to kind of have that familiarity with a group of people that you like so much. And so yeah, I was on the show for a span of, I guess, 4 years technically. And it's just wonderful. Not to mention how much I like the character Kevin. He started off as the stereotypical character, and then he grew into something that is that, but so much more that we get to find out. And I just, loved what they did with him.
What was one thing you took away from the project that's helped you going forward?
Um, I I think it's just how to run a set in, Jared and Jensen. They kind of lead by example. They are always present. They are always so generous with all the guest actors and everyone coming in. And it kind of sets this wonderful tone that helps people stick with it, day in and day out without going too crazy. They have a crazy schedule, 10 months out of the year, like 5.5 days a week. It's a lot. it's a lot to take in. So you have, your main two people who kind of set a nice tone, and it's a good vibe on set. And so if I were to ever have that position on showing, that's exactly what I would do.
And it's also afforded you the luxury of going to a lot of conventions, Creation Entertainment, right? I believe.
Yeah, well, Creation Entertainment, they do the Supernatural conventions in North America, and then you have a couple in Europe and some in Australia, and the Comic Cons all over. And that's a fun thing. I still go to a lot of these events as a fan myself, as an attendee. So being invited as a guest, it's kind of nice to kind of see both worlds. You get to travel the world and see different places, meet people from all over, and I really like that.
What's one of the craziest things you've dressed up as for one of the cons, whether it be Comic Con or
crazy,
or your most memorable? How about that?
It really depends on your definition of crazy. The one that probably comes around the most is the one of the first time I ever did it as a guest, because I used to cosplay all the time as an attendee. So the first time I ever did it as a guest was at a Supernatural convention, and I dressed up as Princess Bubblegum. And originally it was for San Diego Comic Con. I was gonna go, and that was gonna be like a big unveiling, and it just didn't work out. I was working that week, and so I just wore it to the next convention. And I was so new to being a guest at the convention, it just never struck my mind that it was weird. So just seeing everyone's faces for the first time, because it was such a weird and new thing. That certainly was very memorable. That was 2012, I think, 2013.
And have you gone to Comic Con every year since?
I go to a lot of them. San Diego Comic Con I try to go to every year.
Yeah.
Now that I'm based in LA, I try to go to like Anime Expo, Stanley's. Used to be called Comikaze, Anime LA. There's a lot of them. WonderCon. And usually if I'm in town and I'm not doing anything, I'll just pop over.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And now your most recent project, you play Vogel, who is a energy-sucking vampire.
Yeah.
What drew you to the role, and also, how did you prepare for something like that? I can't imagine that.
The scripts for Dirk Gently are so good. Max Landis is our writer, executive producer, and he did such an amazing job with the scripts. So I think everyone that read the scripts just kind of fell in love with the project. In terms of preparation, honestly, I had no idea how to do it. I met up with some of the Rowdy Three before we started, and none of us had any clue how to say our lines. We're just like, are we this bad of actors that we don't know how to do this? But we went in for a meeting with Max and the director Dean, and Max kind of did an impression for all of our characters, and he gave us all our backstories. And after that meeting, it finally clicked, and it made sense. And it's such a fun character to play. And now that we got picked up for season 2, I'm just really excited to finally dive into it. Because season 1, we get introduced to the Rowdy Three, but we don't really get to know them all that well. And it's not until season 2 that we really start to. I'm hoping, I have no idea. It's when we start to really look into the character a little bit. I think we get to talk a lot more, coherent sentences and stuff. So, we'll see.
Interesting. As you mentioned, it get picked up for a second season, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Is there a place that you as an actor would like to see your character go, or are you just kind of leaving it up to the powers that be?
Max's imagination is so wild. In this kind of show, I have no idea. I don't think it's going to be anything like season 1, which is exciting, and I like the unknown, and I like to see how crazy it could possibly get, and whether or not we can manage it with the budget we have.
And you recently took part in a web summit, right? You're very big into diversity in the entertainment industry. What's that experience been like for you?
That was such a cool experience. It's the largest technology conference in Europe, but just to see the sheer number of people who are innovating and making so many strides in technology and I guess just the future of so many like apps and programs,
Mm-hmm.
softwares, robotics. I mean, so many things. And this was like our chance for me to go and say, look, we've done so well in all of these things. If you just put your mind to it, there's 50,000 people
Mm-hmm.
all with that mindset. And here I am saying, like, let's put some of that energy into, making the world a better, more diverse place, and not just tolerating. Because and I don't really like that word tolerating, because
Mm-hmm.
tolerating means like you're putting up with it, but you still don't
Right.
want to. But it's
Right.
more like an acceptance of
Exactly.
like, look, we're all here, we're all in this together. We share a lot of the same issues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us share or take a bigger load than others, and it's kind of like and it takes effort, but it's kind of just putting on our sympathy hats and empathy maybe, and just to kind of take some time to consider what everyone else is feeling. And as an actor, that's our job. It's to empathize with people, so it's certainly a big thing for me.
What projects do you have coming out in 2017?
Oh, I mean, most of the time I do something and I forget about it.
Well, let me remind you. In The Bounty Hunter, you're going to be directing Skate God.
Right, that's right. Yeah. Yes, those ones. Dirk Gently is, that's going to be my main focus. I think I'm going to be in Vancouver for half the year. But I'm a very big into the independent scene. Like, I love indie movies. Anytime I get an indie script, I get excited for that, because you get to help and be part of all of these aspiring filmmakers that are just trying to move up in the world, and I really enjoy that process. I'm doing a lot of short films with some friends in LA. I like to kind of build that kind of community. So I'm directing a short film at the end of this month, and I'm putting together another one at the beginning of January before things pick up. It's kind of how I use my holiday.
Yeah.
And I mean, and there's another project that I'm really excited about, but I probably shouldn't talk about it just yet.
Sounds good. We don't want to get you kicked off the project. You mentioned you were going to be directing. What's it like for you to kind of go behind the camera and give the expertise that you've kind of learned as an actor back to another actor?
Well, I mean, it's a different skill set. For me, I enjoy acting, but I like the filmmaking process, and I consider myself a filmmaker, and I think it's all about the collaborative experience and me knowing and trying, and again, being able to empathize with someone else's job might help me as an actor be more cognizant of, how I could kind of help the project go along a little bit smoother. So directing is, I don't even think of it as me imparting my expertise. It's me trying not to mess up and, make sure
It sounded much better the way I said it, though.
I know, it did. But, I just want to make sure we get all our shots and try to tell a compelling story with the resources that we have. Yeah, I'm excited for the challenge. But yeah, I know, I think a lot of the directing for performers in this, it just comes down to the casting. Just pick the right people, and you can let them handle it, and then I'm just going to try to figure out all the other stuff.
Thank you so much for taking time to meet with me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.